It's the classic cliché, one we've all been guilty of at some point, while sitting on moving transport and looking wistfully out of the window. In a brief moment of self-importance, you pretend to star in a movie, the imaginary film adaptation of your life. You know what I'm on about. And if you don't, well, try it. It's pretty good fun. As you all know, an integral part for a successful Wistful Journey segment is sound. And so I wonder, if my life were a film, what would the soundtrack be made of? Would the songs featured be well-known ones? Pop songs allowing you to pin exactly when and where this film is set? Or would it be a blast from the past? Maybe it would just be my Spotify library on shuffle, which I really hope it wouldn't be, because it would be quite eclectic, let's just say. Maybe there just wouldn't be a score. Perhaps it could be commissioned, original material, and if so, would my words suddenly seem profound when set against some sick beats? The film of my life could even include a voiceover. I could narrate my own life. Maybe random words. Enigmatic phrases. Breathy voices. Maybe it would be hard to tell that this was even the film of my life. Maybe other people would be just as important. Maybe it would be difficult to tell who was talking. Maybe I wouldn't even know what I was talking about. Or maybe I would, but you'd never know. Maybe instead of just being a voiceover, I would properly acknowledge you. I'd break that fourth wall, time and time again.
Maybe I'd walk you through my life. I'd give you an insight to the world and how I see it and all the crazy hijinks that happen. I'd give you a lowdown of what's happened in the past, which you need to know, because otherwise this makes no sense whatsoever. There are some things I'll do that seem crazy, but by hearing me talk about them, you'll start to understand why those actions were necessary. But maybe I'm more of a pondering character. I'm wistful, laconic. Wandering flaneur, if you like. No matter what I talked about or why, the fact is, me acknowledging you as an audience, talking to you, means you get access to something you don't usually. It's in here. I get to talk to you. And you hopefully listen.
Okay, so I wouldn't be the one to lead you through my life, but maybe someone else could.
A figure. A guide.
They'd say things like,
This is where Mae-Li spends most of her time.
they'd show you the places that I frequent, the drama department for example.
Opened in 1947, it was the first department to teach theatre and performance in the UK. And later, film and television as well.
There are two theatre spaces.
As well as a 47-seat cinema. The year is 2015. Remembered best for Arsenal's thrashing of Aston Villa in the FA Cup final on the 30th of May, which is in 2 days.
Okay, so I like the idea of there being a narrator. It makes it less about me. But let's face it, I know I wouldn't actually be in the film of my life, purely because I can't act. So, who would play me? It's that strange icebreaker question that people ask. It forces you to think of an actor who looks a bit like you. I don't know. A prettier, more conventional version of me? A big star? Someone who'd bring in money at the box office? Someone who was blonde, maybe? Let's be honest. My character would probably end up as a man. The story might be too niche otherwise. Assuming that this would be a blockbuster film, or maybe it would be an art house favourite. A darling at Cannes. Critically acclaimed. Maybe people just wouldn't really know what to make of it. I'd have all these crazy little adventures, meeting lots of random people, bringing happiness to their lives. Okay, so there's a potential for it to be this great film that goes to Cannes. But what if it went the other way? What if the film of my life went straight to video? Don't ask me why, but I have a feeling it would be very, very strange. I've only really been considering the strange narratives that could be drawn out from my present. But how could my past be rendered? How far back would they go? You can't cover every detail of someone's life, so what would make the final cut? Father's Day, 1997. I was 4 years old, playing outside my grandma's house. A group of us were, when a white car went through us. Well, through me.
The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon.
Decades of testing have given Volvos a much-envied reputation for safety. With features like
a steel safety cage and crumble zone. They're nice if you're in the car. Not so useful when you're on the other side. Severe friction burn ripped off the top of my foot. Tendons and bone visible, bits of grit and ties stuck into the flesh. 2 weeks in the intensive care unit, 2 months in hospital, a skin graft on the upper thigh. Checkups at the burns unit in Broomfield for the next 4 years. Twice a day, fresh dressings applied. A petroleum-based cooling agent to moisturise the foot and secured in place with a bandage, all until I was about 9 years old. So yes, I suppose the accident was a big part of me as a kid, but not anymore. But in the realm of the biopic, this would be gold dust. The childhood trauma that would affect me for the rest of my life. Make me who I am today. I would be forever vigilant and fearful on car journeys. The careful one, eyes glued to the speedometer. Finally getting a permit would be a triumph, an achievement made all the more impressive when you consider that really, I have flashbacks every time I see a car. Perhaps this fear of the road and cars would become so extreme that I become a recluse, isolated from the world because seeing a car would just set me right off. Would an accident that happened over 12 years ago be the most defining thing you would ever find out about me? Would I simply be the girl in the accident? But if we are considering the past, perhaps it would be wise to consider the future. How on earth would this film end?